Hello, this is another episode of XenoChat. My name is Tyler, one of the hosts, along with my co-host, Justin.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening.
Alright, and we're on to another part of Love. So we got our returning guests. First up, we got Kat.
Hello.
Okay, and we have Mary. Alright, and then we have Nick.
Hello, I am back.
Alright, so we'll try our best to keep this as the last part in our series on Love. I mean, we don't really have too much Xeno left to cover unless we get another Xeno game in the future.
No, not really. We just have Torna now.
Yeah. Alright, so before we get into that, let's talk about the news, which we do have some really big news.
Big.
What if they rewrite some parts of Hearts?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Xenoblade was revealed to have a remaster/remake. I'm not certain which
it's like
is exactly.
I think it's like a remake, honestly, with extra stuff, because at that point they pretty much retouch all the graphics and all that stuff, so I think it's a bit higher than just a simple remaster from what I've seen.
Right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in today's day and age, the line between remaster and remake is kind of blurred. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like a lot of people just fight with each other as to which one is which and get kind of caught up in all the semantics of it all. Like, you don't know how many times I've seen people be like, no, that's a remaster, you idiot. Or like, oh no, that's a remake. They totally changed that one pixel, bro. No, what are you talking about? That's a remaster. Do you know how many threads I've seen with that, like, exact exchange? It's stupid. So, I'm just gonna say, we're going to get Xenoblade 1 again. There you go.
Hey, what we're making here?
And as people pointed, it seems like they added like something like the shoulder of, I think, was it Bionis? Yeah,
the Bionis' shoulder.
They seem to have added extra
content.
stuff there, so I'm looking forward to see where that goes.
It's a definitive edition, which means that they more accurately define everything, and they added the UMN encyclopedia into the game.
That would actually be kind of helpful.
That would be.
Yeah.
That'd be really helpful.
And every time you read it's always talking.
That'd be cool if you narrated everything.
Nice.
I was kind of wondering if, like, they're going to rewrite the ending to Xenoblade 1 to take into account Xenoblade 2.
Yeah, that could be cool.
But it kind of already does. Like, there's a couple minor things that, like, people argue over. Like, there's just tiny details, like things that aren't named. But, the connection's already there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just wondering if they're just going to make it a little bit more explicit.
So, like...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, probably.
Not to speculate.
So, like, for example, show the Zohar.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Although,
I don't want to speculate too much.
They did only show it in the... I think we had the background a bit in Xenoblade 1. I can't remember. But if I remember right, I think I saw it once in Xenoblade 1. Because I remember, like, watching the cutscenes and being like, at that point. But yeah.
I'm trying to think back to that, actually, because...
But I think we saw it at that. Because I remember seeing a scene where he pretty much destroyed the world, but I think it was with the kind of quality cutscene of Xenoblade 1, so I kind of remember-ish, but I could be wrong.
I'm pretty sure I at least remember a shiny cross-shaped light, possibly, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was the... So.
Like, maybe it's because I'm fusing the memory of the scene in Xenoblade 2 and the scene in Xenoblade 1 where Klaus is talking. Just like, yeah.
No, I don't remember it appearing in Xenoblade 1, because I'm pretty sure that was the whole point of Xenoblade 2, was that it showed the Zohar. There's actually a comparison video. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I don't see the Zohar in the Xenoblade 1 version.
Okay. So if anything, if they're redoing all this other stuff, I think they're going to stick it in.
Do they even reference, like, directly the conduit in the first one, now that I'm thinking about it?
I don't remember. I would have to rewatch the season, honestly. It's been a while.
It's been so
But
long.
I think they probably... Yeah, I don't think they would have referenced it as the conduit, because in Xenoblade 1, I don't think they would have used that same kind of terminology.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who are probably going to be upset at how little we remember about this, but, you know...
It's like, how dare we not remember this Stanley Kubrick level masterpiece?
I can't believe you forgot the most defining moment in the entire game.
I mean, we know the gist of it.
Yeah.
We got the Spark Notes edition, right?
Yeah.
Oh, please don't hate us.
Well,
So, like, I did want to
details.
mention...
There's a lot of details in the series. It's easy to miss, like, little points here and there, like, when it's been a while, so...
I did want to mention something that I don't suspect will happen, but would be kind of cool in a way. If, like, since there's the whole, would you like to change the future thing going on, what if they had, like, alternate endings? Well,
that's something people have been saying. I've heard a lot of people go on about how they should have an alternate ending where Shulk ends up with Melia.
You know how many fans that would probably piss
So
off
many
to have an alternate
I'd be
ending?
happy with that.
Do you know how many fans would love that?
Oh yeah, they would, but obviously, like, it would be such a divisive thing.
Yeah, another straight ship war to avoid.
It's like,
you know how we avoid straight ship wars?
You want to
OT3.
further divide Xeno fans in general into Xenoblade Chronicles fans, into Xenoblade Chronicles 1 fans, and Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
Oh my god, no. Alright.
Straight ship wars are a mistake!
I'm just here to
speaking
foretell
of ships,
the bad futures.
But yeah, that's, so I guess back on topic, Xenoblade 1, it's coming again. It's coming to the Switch. It's going to have better graphics. We don't know anything about the gameplay. And in that trailer, we only ever saw Shulk, Ryan, Melia, and Fiora. We have not seen Dunban.
We saw Halvis in a cloud. A fog.
Right.
We saw Melia's back. We haven't seen her face.
Yeah, we saw her back.
We only saw Alvis,
and
right?
It looks like they have new outfits too.
Well, that could be also that they took a shot with like one of the costumes on or something. Because I think in the intro when we see him sleeping, like I would have to rewatch again, but I think he had his like normal outfit. But like in that shot where it's in the back where you see the shoulder, he has like a more simple clothing thing, but I mean there's a lot of costumes in Xenoblade 1, so it could be that it just
exactly. So it could be an alternate one. It's just interesting because it seems like, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like nobody knows what outfit that is. Because somebody was making
could be new armor.
Yeah, because somebody was making a point that like even the Monado looked different.
I've been hearing that same thing.
People. Yeah.
And I actually am looking at a picture of the Dragonfly shot right now, and I mean, as far as I can tell, yeah, it's the same, but it's hard to tell at that angle with a giant dragonfly in the way.
It's kind of.
But yeah, I'm very curious to see.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, yeah, I was gonna say I'm very curious to see how that game ends up, like what they're gonna do with the battle system. That's a huge question. How they're going to handle the heart-to-hearts is another big one, too. Whether or not they're going to be adding more story elements, if they're going to add more to Charla's character, and of course, whether or not they're going to get Melia's voice actress back.
Yeah, because she's big time now.
Yeah, Jenna Coleman, right? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be kind of interesting to see if she will come back to do new lines for Melia, or if they're going to do like a weird thing like they did in Tales of Vesperia, where they had like two voice actors.
This is not handled by Namco, so I'm not too worried in that amount, I think.
There's also that, did you guys see that tweet that Adam Howden, voice of Shulk, had, where he's like,
yes.
I've just finished on some big project he kind of like teased
Yeah,
right
it was
before
like
that announcement.
it was like mangled carrot or something.
Like that has a few people worried.
Yeah, I also saw a tweet, or well, I think I saw it in Lugo Banda's Discord, but of like the Japanese voice actor for Rhine had like no idea about this game's existence, or the definitive edition's existence. I thought that was kind of weird.
Oh, that's weird.
Also, just checking something. Also, there's another news that is pretty big, is that the figurine of Cosmos finally has pre-orders opened.
Oh yeah, I think we talked about. Did we talk about the
last time? It was still not up, so no.
Oh right. Oh, we talked about how
it was coming when we did not know when.
Oh yeah,
and
right,
it's gonna release.
Pre-orders are up now.
It's gonna release in May 2020, assuming there won't be any delays, as figurines like these often have delays. But yeah, the pre-orders are open on AmiAmi, and they're still available. So yeah.
Yep. So get that paycheck ready, because this thing is $205.75 US.
I think I'm like the odd one out on this because I ordered mine on Amazon Japan.
Wow.
But that's just to say, you can do that too if you'd like.
I didn't know that Amazon Japan had it because AmiAmi seems to have an exclusive sale on it or something.
It's
even
the same
Obelix
price.
did not have it in the end. Like AmiAmi seems to have like the monopoly over it, so.
And I believe Good Smile also has an English website where you can order directly from them as well.
You can?
Yeah, they definitely have an English website.
Because I ordered the Zelda Nindoroid through them directly, but I don't have an AmiAmi like account, and I did in Amazon Japan, and that's why I went through them.
But yeah, on AmiAmi, what's cool, I don't know about all the other places. Like, I know Amazon is usually you pay when it comes, but AmiAmi also has that now, which surprised me because back in the days when I tried to order something, they would try to force me to pay upfront. I was just like, maybe not. But yeah, they pretty much let you pay only when the figurine comes out, so it's good. Like, you have time to save up.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any other news?
Not that
I can think of.
Any closing thoughts on said news?
Well, I'm just surprised that the Xenoblade Definitive Edition is coming out next year. I'm like, this month marks the 1-year anniversary of Torna, right?
Yep.
So it's just like...
Yeah, it's kind of surprising.
I wonder if they're... Yeah, I wonder if this is being made by their main studio or if another.
But at the same time, like they kind of expanded hardcore lately. Like, it's crazy how much stuff they have extra now, but it's also crazy to think that they have this going on. They have some of their team helping on Zelda Breath of the Wild too, and they have like their other project we know nothing about on the go as well. So it's just like, whoa. That's also one I'm looking forward to hear about, but I bet we're going to hear about it mostly after Xenoblade 1, possibly.
I think the other day when I looked, they don't even have a Wikipedia page or anything on the Wikipedia page for the definitive edition yet, but that was like 2 or 3 days ago now. So it's hard to say.
All right, well.
I will also say one final comment on this. I think we should acknowledge just how incredible it is that a Xenoblade announcement is used as kind of like, the showstopper. It's right at the end of the direct.
Yeah, that's usually like the big reveal thing.
Yes.
The big fall direct, no less. I think that's a pretty big thing.
That's huge. And when we can consider, just not even that long ago where this company, Nintendo, they weren't insanely confident in this game. You know, like, Xeno always had kind of a troubled release.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's...
Now we are the tag team holding title, the champion, Nintendo champion, before somebody else knocks us down.
We're the cool kids now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Move a step aside, Fire Emblem.
Wait until we get more characters in Smash. We'll be even cooler.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah. One can dream.
Yeah, that's another thing.
That new
for
DLC
Smash,
pack.
They're actually going to bring more characters, so I guess we have a little extra hope, maybe?
You know, that's probably kind of news.
Yeah.
I mean, when you can put in a Goemon costume and Terry Bogard as a playable character, I believe anything can happen.
And Sans.
Anything can
Sans
happen.
from Undertale.
And yeah.
That is so ridiculous.
Did you guys see his tweets about that? Not to get too off topic, but I'll just mention really quick. They were kind of amazing.
No, I didn't see.
Because he was like, so yeah, Sakurai and I played, and we did this, and then he drove me home, and we talked about this, and he didn't mind my broken Japanese, and I'm like, he drove you home? You just straight up hung out with Sakurai like that? Okay, sure.
This is Toby Fox.
Yes, Sakurai
Toby
also
Fox.
talked about
Okay.
it in the direct, actually. It was really funny. It was just like, what?
Oh, I missed that part.
Oh man,
it wasn't
his jokes about...
because you had the regular direct, and like after the direct there was like a video with Sakurai talking about Smash and stuff, and that's in there that he talked about that.
One of my favorite parts was him telling everyone to go play Banjo-Kazooie on the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Wow.
He got laughs on stream.
Yeah, there was people.
He got laughs
looking
on
at it
stream for
behind.
that.
That's hilarious. All right, so let's move on to love. Let's talk about love and Torna.
Woohoo!
All right, the main event.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
All
All right, so we'll start from the top, like I guess you could say the kind of the biggest kind of showcase of love in the game, and that would be the relationship between Jin and Laura.
Yes, I love their relationship. It's so
Like
cute and awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can never tell. It's not quite romantic love, or do you think it's?
Well,
romantic
it's
love?
more like they're really close in the sense that they've been together for like a long time, and you know, it's just so cute, and like you can see they're really attached to each other.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, Laura does mention like swooning a few times,
Yeah.
and it seems a little bit romantic to me.
Yeah, in their case, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Jen, I don't know. Maybe
I think that
maybe
was the
Jen's a bit
implication.
dense in that sense.
Or just stoic, I don't know.
Yeah.
My heart's pounding.
But
That was such an awesome line.
what?
Jin, you didn't even realize, did you? Sometimes you'll say something and I'll just swoon.
But
I don't think any girl could refuse you.
no, I didn't mean to.
Nuh-uh, you're smooth and you know it.
Well, to be honest,
Jin is very stoic.
But to be honest, I also think that one of the big problems with their relationship, at least how it's portrayed in game, is it just boils down to how, unfortunately, Laura was very much shafted in what I believe was supposed to be her own story.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like she didn't get enough screen time as much as she deserved. She got quite a bit, like, up to a certain point, but then once Adam came into play, it kind of just became about him and Mithra. And I felt like the whole Jin and Laura thing kind of got casted aside. We had a couple scenes here and there, but it was nothing that really portrayed their relationship like to the same level as it was implied in Xenoblade 2. And I guess that's probably one of my biggest problems with Torna.
Yeah, I guess. But at the same time, like, even if they didn't have that many scenes, like, you can see there's something really, like, precious within these two. Like, even Jin, like,
absolutely.
the way you look at her, like, it's just so, like, even though he's stoic and kind of, like, more distant with most people, like, you look at her and, like, you can feel the warmth and stuff. Like, he really loves her in a way. Like, just, like, it's a person that you respect and everything. It just shows. And, I mean, you would not have gone this insane if not, like, for the fact that he was this attached to her,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and, like, I think, unless I'm mistaken, Laura awakened him when she was a kid or a teenager?
A kid, pretty much.
She was very young.
Yeah.
So he essentially watched her grow up. So if anything, I think like big brother figure. But that's just me. Like, I know there's people who probably ship the crap out of them, and that's alright.
I kind of ship them myself because I find them cute.
Whenever you get into the the whole blade thing, it always gets weird with that because it's always going to be the 1,000-year-old elf that the 20-year-old looks like a 2-year-old too.
Yeah, the 1,000-year-old dragon.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And I think it's they're both adults. I think it's okay to ship them.
Yeah.
And personally, I do, but I also think that, I mean, I agree with you on this. I think that this story kind of became, like, from a character growth perspective, I feel like it became more about just Mithra at the center, and they felt a bit more supporting. It's not that they didn't have something. It's more like that Jin and Laura had something develop before this game started, and in some ways after, if you consider, like, how far Jin goes after it in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but it feels like, this is like backstory to them, but the main focus of character growth here seems to be Mithra in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I think like Jin and Laura, you can kind of look at the relationship in a couple ways. You can look at it as a romantic thing, right? You can also potentially look at it as a big brother thing. And I also think that another way you can interpret it, as they've been through so much together and maybe feelings blossomed later on, starting from Torna. Like, instead of Torna being when they were already kind of like had those feelings, what if those feelings developed towards the end of Torna? And unfortunately, neither of them were able to really confess those feelings, which would make what would happen to Laura all the more dramatic.
Yeah. And also very Xeno.
Yes, I was just about to say that's pretty much Shulk and Fiora, but that's another story.
Yeah,
without the changing of the future.
So, do we move to the next one?
Then, yeah. So in that case, let's talk about Jin and Mithra's relationship.
The good cook versus the bad cook.
You can't be that fiery a tsundere and still be that great a cook unless your passion is just channeled completely into the food. And I think the only place that I've seen that work was Food Wars.
Oh my god. But, yeah, like, I'd say they have a big, like, thing of, like, love and hate relationship in a way. Like, they always are a bit like rivals, I feel like. Well, at least they act a bit like rivals would do. Like, they always pretty much getting on each other's back.
Well, I can say Jin definitely looks at Mithra like a spoiled child, or something like that.
Yeah.
That's my feeling on that whole thing.
Yeah, pretty much, and Mithra is just like... But, like, at the same time, I feel like they still have a certain respect for each other. It's just that at first they really don't really like each other. It doesn't feel like it, but I think it builds up over time. And even like when you go into like Xenoblade 2, like there's a few times later on in the game whenever you're alone with Jin and stuff where you see a couple of scenes of like, well, maybe like there's something that built up and stuff, especially that one scene when he protects her, or like he grabs her and she's pretty much thrown. I was just like, well, like that was kind of cool, and like you can see that he cared about her and stuff. So in a way, I feel like their relationship started kind of like pretty much, I don't know, dog and cat kind of relationship, and it eventually like got a bit better over time, but they still kind of bickering at each other. At least that's the gist of how I grabbed that relationship personally. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to Mithra and Brigid in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
You have the advantage of seeing Mithra in an even more extra state in this game.
Yeah, and like I think the spoiled child really hits it on the head. It's like that's definitely what Mithra is in this stage of her life.
And she's got that ego really going like hardcore in this one too.
Yeah, indeed.
Whereas like Jin is just kind of his, he's just his stoic kind of self, and I can see that clashing pretty easily. I don't know, it's hard to define Jin there a bit, because he doesn't seem like completely, like it doesn't seem like he lacks confidence so much, but a lot of the time, but he doesn't flaunt it in any way, so that's definitely a big difference in the two of them. And there are a few times in Torna where he makes some witty little snide comebacks at like Mithra and just different things like that. So
yeah, pretty much.
I think the cooking competition side quest was one where I remember that sort of thing happening a few times.
Yeah, but even in their travel, it happened quite a few times.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and also, even in their travel, often, like, you would go like, oh, I'm gonna go cook, and like, Metro would just be like, what about my cooking? And the people would be like, crickets.
Oh my god. There's actually... If we spend any time talking about Mithra's cooking, it's just like, I love that when you go to the campfires to cook, there's like a section for Jin's cooking, and it's all like this gourmet stuff. Like, just it sounds gourmet.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like
his food sounds amazing.
It sounds like food you could not cook at a campfire that easily. And then you go to Mithra's stuff, and it's just like, I don't know. I'll put peanut butter on this random fish, or
You're gonna have like mystery cooking with pixels over it.
Roasted Greg's tail and I don't know, bunnet sauce.
Bunnet sauce sounds good though.
But,
I mean, it sounds as good as fighting a bunnet. There you go. I mean, considering there are wood bunnets.
But like a bunnet is just a rabbit, so if you cook the bunnet, you can make sauce from it. So bunnet gravy, and then add sugar or salt, and you've got sauce.
Oh my god.
True enough. We're talking about cooking fictional creatures now, so it's all good. I like it.
Yes.
Xenoblade recipes with cat.
Oh god, the funny thing is that when I started cooking about 2 years ago, I was as bad as Mithra. Like,
was your food pixelated out?
There have been some experiments that were absolute failures, so we couldn't eat them. It was like, I can describe it, but it's not for the faint of heart.
So it's like Mithra in the kitchen. How do I cook this Ardanian guard?
Oh my god.
It was like, I will tell you one thing. You should not put imitation crab meat in soup.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh.
I mean, okay, so like we don't have as many options for that sort of thing around here, and I've seen it in like gumbo, but that's the extent.
Yeah, I was trying to make Maryland crab soup because I'm from Baltimore, and I wanted to make my grandmother's crab soup. But we were poor, and I didn't want to spend the $20 for the can of real crab meat.
Oh.
So I decided to get some fake crab meat and tried to cook it with the soup base, and it was not good.
Oh, no.
Oh boy.
Ooh. I imagine rock crabbles.
Pixelated.
I imagine rock crabbles would be the ones you don't want to eat the meat from.
Yeah.
Or it could be the best
It
meat.
could be.
Oh wow.
Right. In that case, if we're talking about food, let's continue on.
Fake food.
I have need to have a cooking episode of all the different Xeno recipes we can.
So, isn't Malus next? Isn't he good food?
He is the best food.
Oh.
But yeah, relationship
Delicious.
of Jin and Malus next.
XenoChat.
So,
Yeah, actually.
XenoChat, we talk about snacks.
Yes, snacks. Actually, I was kind of disappointed in Jin versus Malus in this game because like it's basically just sort of like it's like, oh, you're on the good side. Now I fight you. You're trying to stop me, and there was like very little characterization like thrown in there because like when Jin and Malus become aligned, it's actually a scene in Xenoblade 2, the actual, that like explains, oh hey, I found you. You're still alive somehow. You don't have Laura anymore. You look really depressed. I am like you. Let's go kill everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
In this one,
And I feel it was a missed opportunity because like they could have like I think that like the game cuts off at the most interesting part. And it doesn't explain, like, it creates this gap, and now I'm focused on this gap. It's like, please explain how the bad guys got together, please!
they could have had this
Yeah, but I
line
think in
in
their
the
head,
sword fight.
I think maybe in their head, because they kind of showed it in, like, Xenoblade 2, they felt like maybe they had to focus more on the backstory during the war and not really explain it in Torna, you know? For them, like, the back alley scene was maybe enough.
So I have two things about
It's
this
never enough.
that kind of make me laugh, actually. And it's that, like, I imagine in the sword fight, you could just insert a part where Jin's, like, clashing swords with Malus, and he's like, admit it, Jin, you're just like me!
Oh my god.
yeah.
And then the other thing that I thought of was when you said in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the actual, I'm like, that's going to be like the definitive edition. It's going to be like Persona 5 The Royal, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the actual.
I was just like grasping at straws, trying to figure out a way to say Xenoblade 2.
No, I mean it just made room for a joke there, so we're good.
It's a good joke.
Thanks.
A+.
Oh man, I've been getting S pluses in Astral Chain lately. Darn it.
S+.
Thanks. Awesome. I wasn't actually begging for one, but thanks.
All right.
A+ is the top tier where I'm from. So
Yeah.
It translates.
So,
All right. Then
Do we have?
move on to Jin? Oh wait. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, did anybody really have anything more on Jin and Malus? Because I don't know. That seems harder to.
Yeah, it's
talk
I
about
a
in
bit
this
kind of
hard
agree
to
with
grasp
Kat
because...
Oh, go on.
E?
Oh, sorry. Go on.
It's a bit hard to grasp because there's not a whole lot since, like, the focus, even though, like, I think we did pass a few comments sometimes toward Jin, but, like, aside from that, it was really more focused on, like, either the entire group or just Adam and, like, Mitra. So, yeah.
There was kind of like this odd distance in this one
Yeah.
with Malus between Malice and Jin, at least, a
But
little
I think
bit.
it was just having playtime with the whole group and not really caring that much about one person in particular.
Yeah. Malus, for the most part, is like kind of like this unseen force for a lot of Torna that you kind of just see, like, the destruction he leaves behind. So it's he kind of lacks more of a presence than in the main game.
It was a little bit like the Fellowship of the Ring, and it was like, oh, we're going out. We're going to go get to that great evil, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's focus on this group, what they're doing right in the now.
Exactly.
So, next, Jin and Mick?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Jin and Mikhail.
Yep.
They're both very quiet.
They're both
very
quiet.
I don't
but
recall
I
much.
feel like they're both very quiet, but still have this sort of very sweet relationship in a way. And like, Mick often like would go to him and like start cooking with him and try to learn from him and stuff. And I found this really cute. But I feel like they're pretty much like two quiet person meeting up and like having quality quiet time. I don't know.
You know what? Think of it this way. They're quiet, right? Maybe they are communicating telepathically.
I knew you were going to say that.
Maybe they're like human TVs.
Or it's just like the body language thing. Like where Mikhail goes up and like helps Jin with something and Jin just like smiles. And
I also love how
Mikhail just knows what it means.
Sometimes Mitra tries to go in the kitchen and he just pretty much goes before she does. I feel like it happened once at least where he actually goes to start prepare something since Jin was like doing something else just so that Mitra does not touch the kitchen.
Jeez, Kat, speaking of that gap you mentioned, like, Mikhail, I want to see how that happens. Because you go from, like, little kid, like, who's, like, oh, I want some more. Like, Oliver Twisty, you know, style accent going on, and very quiet, and then next thing you know, in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, he's, like, making wisecracks all the time, you know, just like...
Yeah, that's what we were saying last episode.
I probably did.
It's like, once again, Takahashi gives us nothing.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're taking like he was a kid, and like the timeline were between where he was a kid and got bigger and stuff, and through all the experience he went through, I feel like he grew up and like started to become more like.
Yeah, a lot of it is inferred, but, like, almost none of what he ends up like is how he is in Torna.
Yeah.
Some people just say read between the lines. Sometimes I just want to, like, see between the lines a little bit more, is all I'm saying.
I want to be shown, not told.
Yeah. But I mean,
sometimes,
if
not in every
to be
case.
shown that kind of thing, we would almost see in between game, between the two, so it was just...
Yeah, and just, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like, I love Torna. I love the characters. I like what I got, but I feel like I'm missing a lot of key information about the characters I care about the most.
Yeah, I really love the cast of Torna, too, and I would love to have more. Especially the ending, I found it was lacking a lot. Like, I was like, okay, I know we're supposed to see that one scene in Xenoblade 2 afterwards was like, come on, I want to see. But yeah.
He's like, let me see her getting iced. Let me see, like, just a little bit more, like a half an hour more. A half an hour more would have been enough.
Feed me the candy.
Give it to me!
Oh my god. So, next we have... Jin and Hase. Or A's. Hase or A's.
Hey.
I'm trying to pronounce it in Japanese-ish because that's how it sounds whenever I read it.
You know, doesn't she just have a different name in Japanese? Or
I think she does, but I can't remember.
Kasumi.
I actually mostly played this one in English. I don't know.
I can't remember. I played with the Japanese dub, but like it's kind of hard to remember because they say a different name, but like I'm reading subtitles at the same time. So
I think it was Kasumi, right?
it could be, yeah.
That's probably it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Jin and Ace. Well, they seem.
You know what? I think you're right, because Haze, and Misty from Pokemon is also Kasumi, and that's kind of like the same thing, so I could see them translating it that way.
Maybe.
Yeah.
A Mist, a Haze, Kasumi for Mist or Haze, I could see it being the thing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and they did kind of sort of translate some of the names. But yeah, Jin and Haze. Like, I don't remember much about.
I do remember some interactions between the two, and it was mostly around campfires. Sometimes you would have some interactions between them, like how Ace would be like, "Oh, why don't you use me more a little bit?" You know, because often, especially in the beginning of the game, you play a lot more with Jin, but then like you start playing with Ace as well, and she pretty much tries to say, "Hey, I'm useful too," you know. And Jin's pretty much like really sweet toward her too, and like you pretty much like encourage Laura to just like give her a spotlight somehow, and they seem pretty friendly to each other too, even though, you know, Jin is still like friendly in his own way and like doesn't always show fully in the surface, but you can kind of see in his eyes most of the time like how like he means something in the warm way or something, even though he doesn't really express himself the best way. But yeah, I felt like there was a few small interactions between the two that were really cute.
I think that just like by nature of Haze being, I don't know, she comes off like very humble and very just like nice and sweet in general and just things like that. And so I don't see them like being like particularly, I don't see anything particularly, you know, I mean, I feel like they're maybe at best, I feel like they'd probably see each other as like a brother and sister almost sort of thing, except for like, they're just, I don't know, they're just really nice to each other, they're, you know.
Or are they just good friends, you know?
Good friends,
they're going together in travels with Laura, protecting her and etc. Like, it's cool.
Their goals align.
Yeah. So
I think Haze talks a little more than Jin, but
yeah, definitely, because she's a bit more social, a bit more like, you know, like she's a bit shy, but she's still like social and like very sweet to everyone, and she feels a bit like she would treat everyone a bit like they're her little brother and sisters, and she would take care of anyone that needs help, you know. I don't know.
I don't want to like segue this to that or anything like that, but I was going to say it kind of feels weird, but I feel like I have a little more to say about Aegeon than I do about Haze in this one, which I really like. I like Aegeon.
Well, I think we'll get to him. Yeah, we'll get to him.
We will.
So, next one, Laura and Mick, which is pretty much, I think, a relationship of big sister and little brother kind of thing, because they pretty much find them in the village that's been destroyed, and she's pretty much like, you know, you can follow us, we're not like dangerous or anything, we'll take care of you, kind of thing.
Yeah, Laura's definitely leader, like, she definitely made like a almost like motherly decision there to take Mikhail in, and just like,
yeah, but she didn't want to just abandon him there, and like, I mean, Nick was also really he was really traumatized and a bit shy, a bit hard to open up and stuff, and the fact he opened up to their group, I feel like maybe it'd be a bit harder for him to just be like somewhere else with other strangers, because he would have like to go back into that whole process of like reopening up to new people and stuff when he wasn't really at ease. Even though Nick was still pretty strong, he just was really quiet. And yeah, just I really love how like she takes care of him, and like he also like we said earlier, like he starts learning how to cook with Jin, and like he gets a friend too, which I think we're gonna get to. I'm not sure if I put it on the list. Did I put him? Yeah, I put them together. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I could talk about them like in advance since I'm pretty much heading there, but yeah, he got a friend from that, like, which was Milton, and they're pretty much the two kids of the group, and they hang out together, and Milton's a lot more social and kind of like pretty much helping him a lot to open up, I feel like, because of the
Mick and Milton's relationship is a little more, like, I feel like it goes a little further with all of that, because I feel like Milton is kind of the one who brings Mick, like, out of his shell. I feel like...
Yeah.
I feel like what probably influences the future Mick in a lot of ways is probably Milton.
Yeah, definitely.
And, I mean, not in every way at all, but I mean...
Yeah, it's definitely there.
I have these inner thoughts, just like theories, I guess, about that maybe Mick became kind of the way he is in 2 because of losing Milton, or something to that effect, because I feel like, they're completely different in Torna, and then just like you see, like through the side quests and everything like that, like that Milton's always like happy-go-lucky, and he's always like supporting Mick in these ways, and they're both kids, they're both around the same age, and Mick, he's kind of got this, really quiet, like, he's very like shy in a way, and very quiet, and just it doesn't seem, at times you look at him and it's like, is this kid just too traumatized to, like, say much of it or anything, or feel any way about anything? And then, like, later in the game, you see, like, where he starts, like, not very much of it, but where he starts saying a little more, or like where he will make like a slightly witty comment or something like that, and that's mostly in the side quests even, but it definitely showed that Mick, like, the whole, like, Milton definitely rubbed off on him a little bit in some way. There were times at which it didn't seem like he even returned the friendly feelings towards Milton that Milton had towards him, and then later I feel like he did some things, or said some things, that kind of proved that completely wrong, and that, Mick just was not good at expressing himself, but he was getting better slowly.
Yeah. Yeah, I really love their relationship. It was nice. Like, I feel like Laura kind of helped open up a bit, and then, like, he met Milton and helped, like, tremendously, because they were always hanging out together, and Milton was always trying to, like, understand him and, like, get him out of his shell, but, like, I don't think it was really any time, like, forceful. I think it's more like he had, like, a sort of understanding of him, and he was trying his best to help him and, like, talk to him and give him attention and stuff. And, like, Mick also got attached to Jin without that cooking bros. But yeah, it's a cool relationship. So we move to the next one, which is another big one.
That is Adam and Mithra.
Yep. She's the two maids after they kind of come in a way.
Yeah, basically the 2 lead characters of Torna. So I guess, like, Adam is pretty much the counterbalance of Mithra. He's always there to kind of put her in her place.
But he's also like so freaking nice that he has trouble to, like, put discipline and stuff.
Like, I don't...
Like,
Yeah. I don't really remember him clapping back at Mithra the way Mithra snipes at him.
Well, he's always really calm, and I guess, like, what I meant to say was that, he's always kind of there to at least try to diffuse Mithra.
Yeah.
I guess that's probably the way I should have worded it.
There is times, though, I don't remember the exact dialogues and stuff, but I remember there was times, though, where Mithra was about to do something, and he legit said no.
Yeah, there was a scene like that. I know which one you're talking about. Because I do remember that, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, Adam is very much just the good boy.
He's the good boy that must
Really,
be protected.
He cries
That's
so
all I
much.
could say.
He cries so
I feel
much,
like-
he laughs so much. He's such a good bean. Like, oh my god, I love him.
I feel like Mithra is to Adam is like Adam getting in that dad practice a little bit. Like he's got that goofy dad vibe a little bit to me in a way already because he's jokey but he's very like he's already really good at it because he doesn't fly off the handle like at all. You know, he doesn't get like worked up too bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's just like, yeah, he's very calm. The way he handles things, it's like, oh. Seems like they've been together for, at least a little while because he knows how to handle her pretty well, like, just to talk her down, really.
Yeah.
He'll just, he's got this sense of charm to him that I feel like he could just say, oh, now, just don't do that kind of thing, and, you'll probably, yeah, okay, I should just be chill because, you are.
But yeah, he's a good boy, and like they have like pretty much that kind of relationship where, as you guys said, like he kind of stops her a bit whenever she's about to do something bad. But also, trying to remember, but like, I meant to also say like near the ending how like their relationship goes maybe a bit to a darker side because of the fact that Mithra is pretty much shocked, incredibly shocked and broken with everything that happened, and he still comforts her and stuff, and like such a good beat, man. But that's I wish we would have seen more in that hand too, because like they kind of leave after everything's done, and like. Mithra is turned into Pyra, but we don't really see like how he sealed her and like how he left, where he left, what he did. Like we know that he went to the Fawcett village afterwards and he found in some stuff there because we know a bit because of Zerda talked about it before, but like we haven't seen anything in that sense, and that's maybe another thing that I wish I would have seen at least a tiny bit of like what he did after all of that stuff, because and like even his wife is just we never see her. It's just like, oh, she's in my house.
I would have thought she would have thrown. I would have thought she'd have at least shown.
Yeah,
up.
but she never showed up. She's just in the house somewhere, but we never see her.
Like we meet Adam's dad, Adam's uncle, and like his entire posse, but not his wife.
Basically, it's crazy.
But they do talk about his wife. There's that. But yeah, that's all.
She exists.
It's like she's pregnant.
It's as bad as Arwen in the Lord of the Rings books.
Oh wow.
Like, oh yeah, she's totally over here. She totally exists. And she's making a flag for us, but she's not here.
I guess
she's here to show you there's definitely nothing between.
This goes well into Adam and like the country in general and how he's seen in the country. Like, basically Adam was adopted into the royal family, so he's not a pure blood thing. And like,
that's right.
His brother is pure blood and is like kind of jealous of him because everyone loves him. But I'm like, I'm like, okay, but everyone loves him because he's a good being and he's good to everyone. So
yeah, I think basically Prince Zetter exists to make Adam look good.
Yeah, and like Adam, like they present him as the kind of character who, in a way, is like wise beyond his years, just because of what he's had to deal with in the past. Probably, partially because of that. And it's like he's got I feel like that's part of the reason he's able to let so much just kind of roll off. You know, whenever he's just like so, yeah, just kind of go with the flow a little bit, but also like he plays a bit goofy and a bit dumb, and he can diffuse situations because of just like how he presents himself. And I feel like part of that probably has something to do with how he was just brought up.
Yeah.
As in that position where he's not the true heir, really, but you know, he's dealt with the prejudices, but he's just kind of learned to roll with it. Like, that's just the way he kind of developed.
Yeah. But also, yeah, you just love to help people in general and stuff, and like he likes treating people as equal and not really as like, oh, I'm almighty and you're nothing kind of thing. Like, he treats everyone super well. And I think that's something, it's pretty much what makes so people loves him, because he's not like a fake, or he's not trying to act almighty, just act like you're equal all the time, you know? Like, even like when someone says something toward him with like kind of courtesy or like royal title or something, he's just like, oh, please just stop that. You know. So
yeah, I think in the line of Adam, there's a little bit of Rex in there. It's like he's not like raised as royalty, but he's definitely worthy.
Yeah,
exactly what I was kind of thinking.
Yeah, basically. So, I guess we can move to Adam and Laura, which, like, I feel they have a pretty good friendship and pretty good understanding of each other. And also, I love how Adam, like, whenever he meets her and Jin at the first time, it's like, oh my god, you guys are so cool! You know, he just fanboys over them. And it's hilarious. Like, the face he makes there just killed me.
That face is kind of a meme.
Yeah. Pretty ghost old fanboy.
Oh god, that face.
But, like, even afterwards, like, I like how, you know, Adam, at times, he has a bit of, like, self-doubt. Like, can he really do this? And can he really, like, manage to keep, you know, Mitra's power on check and stuff like that? Like, you have some self-doubts like that at one point, and I know that Laura kind of helps him and, like, listen to him and helps him out on that and try to give advice of, like...
Does...
Hmm?
Oh, I was gonna say, does anyone else get, like, this kind of vibe of Laura kind of... Like, this is... It seems like her first time in, like, this big of a group. Like, working with this big of a group of people, and it's, like, Adam, who's a little bit more used to, like, leading, and Laura kind of learning to be a leader and maybe seeing a little bit of that through him in some ways at the same time.
Yeah.
I think that Laura stands as a pretty good leader on her own, but I also kind of get that feeling a little bit from, like, her and Adam's, like, relationship is just, like, Adam already kind of knows what it's like. He's already kind of been thrown in that position, and she's kind of bouncing off him, like, you know, she's kind of learning some of that from him is kind of the feeling I had.
Well, it's also, like, because, like, the people kind of slowly take a liking also into, like, what you do to the community and stuff like that. Like, you're eventually, like, Laura's eventually pretty much pushed into a position where, oh, like, you're gonna become a knight and stuff, and she's just like, what? You know, she's just like, oh, I'm not really worthy for that, you know, just, I don't know. But like they all pretty much look at her and they're just like, nah, you're worthy, just take it.
It's like Laura knows how to lead, but she doesn't recognize herself as a leader, and I feel like in a way he helps her to see that.
Yeah, I think they both help each other grow, and I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's kind of the impression I got from Adam, is that he was kind of like a mentor.
Yeah,
to
but
Laura,
it seems like even
ways.
Laura, in some other ways, was also a bit like a mentor to him. So I think they pretty much help each other with like their old experience and stuff to grow up as characters, and I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I could see it being like Laura maybe like learning some of the more leadership kind of qualities from Adam, and Adam kind of learning maybe a bit more about just how it looks to just seeing her and Jin together, how well they get along. I feel like maybe that influenced his relationship with Mithra in a way, or actually not even him so much as it did Mithra, because I think like that's one of the big things that Mithra had as like a takeaway from seeing the two of them and how well they work together, and maybe enforced, like maybe it was like part of what made her see. And,
yeah, but I think it's
maybe I should try a bit harder to get along with everyone.
But I think it's also important, like the scene I mentioned a bit earlier, like when Laura like pretty much, I think she don't fully remember, but I think she pretty much tell him that he should trust Mithra and stuff like that, and not really doubt her and stuff like that, because the thing is, he feels like she's so powerful and can barely hold her power, and like he's afraid that it might go wrong or something. But yeah, I think
because she doesn't just like exude responsibility in any way in that game.
But I think like both Adam and Mithra pretty much learn quite a bit from Jin and Laura, and like in the case of Mithra, she starts traveling with that whole group, and she kind of learns to be a little more social, a little bit more friendly toward these people, even though like she still have a hard time. But in the case of Adam, like I said, I feel like Laura helped him have a bit more confidence into his ability to like, you know, be with his blade and like have more trust into like Mithra as his blade and stuff. And like you guys said, like Adam also gave some leadership confidence to Laura in a way, like a few skills there. So, do you guys have anything else to add?
No, you guys did a really good job.
So, the next one, I had it because while we were talking about the other thing, like I was thinking about a specific line because my friend started Xenoblade 2 yesterday, and I resaw this cutscene. So I was like, oh, maybe we should mention that. But like at the beginning of Xenoblade 2, like whenever you're going to that ship, get the Aegis and stuff, Malos does mention something whenever Rex attacks him about, I can't let them go because those eyes, I should have been like more careful or something. And if you see like his eyes are like gold, like Adam's, and like I wonder if like they really wanted to do a connection there whenever they did Torna, or like not, because I feel like
there are no accidents.
Well, didn't quite a few characters make references that Rex reminded them of Adam?
Yeah, because Septimistic liked him.
Not remembering that,
like,
right?
He has
oh no, they totally did.
The same eye color, right? But also, like, it's the fact that Malos, whenever he saw him closer look, he was like, I should have been more wary about him, you know? But I always wonder if he was like, if we had more details, like, is Rex a direct descendant of Adam in a way, or is he not? Because it feels like he has so much points that are similar in a way that just I always wonder, but like nothing's really said there. It's a gap.
Yeah.
Love that
But
part.
I don't... Yeah, but I don't see that as like a kind of love. It just... Maybe it seemed like Malice was cautious of him being similar to Adam. I don't see it as love,
but
though.
still, Adam and Malus, like, I would see... I don't know, I would see it as love, I guess, but still, like, the fact that Adam is Mitra's... Adam has Mitra is maybe what's making him go after him, being like, oh, you're the other, like, Aegis driver. Cool, I'm gonna play with you now. But that's about it. But yeah.
That scene where Malos was like, did you see those eyes? They were the most beautiful eyes I ever saw. Just like that one before. I could stare into Rex's eyes all day.
Oh my god.
Christ.
I'm scared now.
Oh, it was
Moving on.
Extended cut.
Laura and Ace, which is, yeah, I feel like they have a relationship that's almost as if they were close sisters in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And they're even like, oh, but we look so much like each other and we have like the same size so we can share clothing. That whole thing was funny. But yeah, I really...
And later...
Huh?
I was saying, and later we can paint our nails!
Oh my god. But yeah, just, they have a really cute relationship, and even though we don't have this many scenes with these two, like, I really like them, and although we do have one scene where she's alone with Laura and she protects her the best she can, though it's really Jin that saves the day. Like whenever that freak kind of comes in, like the one that killed her parent when she was younger, like he comes around with like a bunch of people lowering her blade's ability, and like she pretty much protects her as long as she can, but she's unable to really use her ability because of the people we took were like not blades and actual mercenaries, so they were not affected by her powers. But yeah, aside from that, I think they have, like I said, mostly like a sort of sisterly love, I guess.
Yeah, because I think there might have been unvoiced or some extra scene. Wasn't they were talking about something like ghosts or something, and Hayes was getting like scared.
Oh yeah,
and, like,
that's
Laura
true.
like,
I remember.
Yeah, like, calm down. There's no such thing as ghosts or something like that, and it was precious. It was very precious.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Oh, I think I know which quest you're talking about. Even didn't it have? Wasn't there one like that where it had something to do with like cleaning up stuff outside of the city? I can't think of the name of the city.
Oh, the city in Torna?
Yeah. Because they kept on finding, like, this stuff that a monster or something left behind, I thought.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember that, because, yeah, you had to pick up, like, a bunch of garbage or something outside the city.
Yeah.
Which I just thought was really funny, because it's like, oh, we're about to go save the world and defeat Malice, but let's pick up some garbage first.
Okay, no, that's not the name of it. I was trying to think of the name of the city, and I thought Alchemoth, and I'm like, no, that's the first Xenoblade.
So yeah, shall we move to the next one?
Yeah, let's go on.
Alright, so Mitra and Bridget, which is, like we kind of roughly mentioned, pretty much another rival kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Bridget delivers some really sick burns to Mithra sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just like, she is vicious to her.
Oh yeah, she is.
Oh yeah.
Along with the fire.
But, yeah.
She's like evil stepsister, or stepmother vicious.
I don't recall though, did they show that whole thing? Because I remember like in Xenoblade 2 they speak how they speak about Bridget's journal in one Affinity thing, I think? I'm not sure. Where, like, they speak of a fight she had with Mitsuda and how, like, I think she was the one who won so many times, and, like, Mitsuda was a loss, I think?
I believe they actually discussed that a lot in the main game, in like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, actually, in some heart-to-hearts.
Yeah, that's the thing, but at the same time, like, I don't fully remember, did they ever show that in Torna? I don't freaking remember. Like, it's only been a few months and I'm already starting to lose a few details. But, yeah, I think they were supposed, like, around that Torna time to have some fights going on and stuff that I don't fully remember if, like, they showed one or if they just mentioned it.
Between the two of them, I don't think I remember one.
Yeah,
but
that's what I thought. I think they just mentioned it, maybe.
Yeah.
But still,
well,
they have a rivalry kind of thing going on.
Yeah, whereas like Laura and Hayes are kind of like loving sisters, these are like kind of like bitter rival sisters that are kind of mean to each other, but
they still appreciate each other. It's just they're really mean to each other.
Yeah, they're not really good at expressing love towards each other.
No.
I think most of the Mithra versus Bridget discussions are actually in heart-to-hearts in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 rather than in stuff in Torna, from what I'm remembering. I remember the one in Moritha for sure, where she talks about remembering back, and I remember a few things about her journal in the main game and also in Torna, but mostly they just like, oh yeah, she keeps the journal in Torna. Like, she discusses that a few times.
So, next?
Alright. Okay, yeah, next we have the Morodane peeps, and that's Hugo along with Bridget and I always pronounce his name wrong.
Aegeon.
Yeah, I'm always confused about how to pronounce that name, because my French brain also tries to pronounce it at the same time, and I'm just like, I'm confused.
It's weird that they used Aegeon for his Japanese name, or rather, his Japanese name was not Aegeon, and the Japanese name for the Aegis is also not the Aegis. Hang on, I have to Google.
But yeah, it's just I love this trio of people. I love Morard and Peeps. So I guess I'm gonna let
his name wrong.
I don't know how long Kat's gonna take on the Google.
We can start talking about it a little bit, though.
Yeah, I have to find it.
What were you trying to find?
Yeah, we can start.
So, you have Hugo and Bridget. Bridget seems to like Hugo just as much as, in a way, she likes Morag in the main game, in a way. Like, it's...
However, she won't do the heart for Hugo.
No, that's true. That's true, but she still, like, seems to have kind of a close respect for him and stuff like that still. And Aegeon is just... Aegeon is, as usual, kind of quiet.
He's like...
He's the quiet one with the sword. Okay, so his Japanese name is Wadatsumi. I'm not exactly sure what that name means, but it's weird that it's like repeated translation. It sort of like ups his importance a little bit, but there is none.
Wow. Yeah, that was kind of the thing. I was kind of hoping he'd get more screen time in the main game, but then he didn't.
Yeah.
He gets a little more in Torna, but not a ton more. But I like how he's kind of like overly protective of Hugo, and that's kind of adorable.
He seems a bit like this.
He's Ziggy.
Yeah, pretty much. He's pretty much like the guy that's a bit fatherly, but a bit like awkward at expressing himself. Like,
So,
I think he's like...
If he is Ziggy, would that make Hugo Momo?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't Hugo a bit
Interesting.
more, I don't know, a bit more like, because Momo's a bit more cute and innocent, and Hugo is a lot more like...
Hugo...
Yeah, Hugo
is basically Morag in a boy's body.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
But at the same time, like, he's really happy. Like, he still has more emotion than Morag did, in a way. Like, he smiles a
he's
lot
more
more,
genki.
he talks a lot more with people, and, like, he kind of gets close to his people still, and a lot of people
They're all different enough.
Yeah.
pretty much respects him.
They're all different enough characters that it's not super easy to one them to any past character anyway.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
will say about Egeon, actually, that I do like what he shows in Torna that he doesn't really seem to show in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, at least that I can recall. And then again, I might not have seen very many heart-to-hearts with him in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 at the same time. However, he does have like this very sensitive side that I notably saw in Torna that I really liked about, like, how he actually was like worried about what they thought of his like cooking and things like that, and how like perfectionist he was about certain things. And I really enjoyed that. It was just like, I don't know, I see Egeon, like, he's got like this almost, it's kind of a stereotype of just like, oh, he's got like the odd artistic sensibilities or something, But yeah, I just like see a little bit of that sort of thing in him with what they were maybe going for, just like where they're like, oh, he's worried, he actually does worry about this, and it's not just all about protecting his lord or master or anything like that. It's he's got a personality there, he's got things that he cares about, and he's just very proper about so much.
Yeah. He's a good beat too. It just sucks that he doesn't have that much screen time, like, regardless.
I think they play off the fact that his appearance is inherently just like a little bit creepy in a way to a lot of them. So like he it's not that he looks like creepy really. It's just like that he's just otherworldly.
It's a very inhuman design, and like people are scared of things that they can't see as human-ish. So like it's a hard sell. I get it.
He's got a bad case of mannequin face.
So
yes.
But I love him.
Yeah. And Hugo himself is like I really love Hugo so much. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's a really fun character.
He is.
Definitely one of my favorites of the new Torna characters.
And did I really forget to put this on the list? I think I did. How could I? I forgot to put Hugo and then Adam.
Oh,
They have like the most like close friendship ever going on, and we cannot just pass that, because I mean, like, the whole time they feel like they're kind of like the best bros in a way. Like the long-term friendship, and like they're pretty much like, hey, how's it been going? Like, what were you up to and all that stuff?
Just two young boys thrown into a leadership position way over there.
Yeah, pretty much. So they can relate to each other a lot, and like they're just really good friends, and I really love how they interact with each other. Like, they're two good beats interacting with each other, so yeah.
Imagine if you liked your world leaders.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. So, yeah, I just really wanted to add that really quickly, because it's like, we cannot not talk about them.
Oh no, that was a good catch.
So the next one is Minot and his love for writing, which is something we see quite a lot within Torna, how, like, he goes around with his little book writing the adventures of people, and, like, how even in Xenoblade 2, it moves on to, like, him making a theater and, like, having these plays going on about the past and stuff, and I think it's really interesting.
I actually that sparked a memory in me, because really telling about that is just whenever you find the book that he likes in his like as far as his most loved items, and he'll just like, oh, this one kind of, I can't remember what he actually says, but that reminded me of it whenever you said that.
Yeah.
Such a great story.
Yeah, that guy really likes books, and he really likes writing as well, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I liked how his skill was actually, like, writing books, and yeah, as you said, like, 500 years later, he has his own theater where he writes his own plays. It's just, his love of writing is very admirable.
Yeah. So, next one, Midot and Malthus, which is something we don't really see so much. It's more like praised over, but I think it's more in this case, it's not so much about love, but more about, like, he kind of hates the guy.
I'm just gonna make this short for you.
Yeah.
There is no love there.
Nope.
He does not like Amalthus at all.
Nope.
He hates him.
There may have been at some point, but not anymore.
Pretty much. But yeah, I still had put it on the list because it was still some kind of relationship that had been briefly mentioned, but, like, it was pretty much like, I'm breaking up with this dude. Like, he's no longer with him.
Yeah, it feels like a total breakup island, of, like, total awkward breakup. Like, the entirety of, well, not the entirety of his character, but it leaches into a lot of what we're shown of Minoth.
I just want to say, as a kind of an aside on all this, if you really want to, like, view just, like, little hints of personality that each of the characters show that you might not necessarily catch as heavily in the main games, really nice thing to do is look at the flavor text on the Infinity charts, because they're pretty fun, actually.
Yeah.
One that I love particularly for Minoth that I'm looking at now is like, hey Prince, we're best buds now, right? So, can I borrow $1,000?
Oh my god.
I never saw that. I don't remember that. Oh my god, this is funny.
Not all of them are like that, but there are some really good ones hidden in there, and it's just kind of a shame because not everyone sees them,
Yeah, well, I've went through the modules a few times and looking at these lines, but like it's the kind of details that my brain rarely really, like, remembers, so...
Well, it's that, and there's so many affinity charts to unlock the things on that you're just probably not going to see all of them unless you just complete everything you can, so... Yeah.
I
just wanted to point that out.
But it's like, so many blades. So, yeah. This brings us on the next one, which I kind of put on there, where sometimes, like, I don't fully remember what happens there.
Well,
okay. You're the one who put it there, okay.
Yeah, I'm the one who did that. It was me too!
Well, you go.
Alright, so, Prince Zedar has, like, maybe 3 things about him in the entire thing. He's Amalthus's friend, and he was one of the ones who tried to awaken Mithra, but she didn't awaken for him, and he sort of, like, goes around like a jilted lover, like, throughout the proceedings. He's kind of like Commodore Norrington of the series, and, like, basically all we know about him is what he wants, and, like, seeing him at the end of Torna, like, just, like, it's not even dialogue, or rather, there is, like, there's a couple lines of dialogue that he and Amalthus share, and I think it's, like, I forget what exactly they are, but it's like they're definitely conspiring. And when going back to the main game, and you see how Tantal is the way it is because of this guy and his friendship with Amalthus. And that's like, it's definitely destructive, but it's a powerful relationship, like whether it's friendship or like more than that.
That's cool. But
and that's my thing. That's my thing that I said.
Very nicely put.
Nicely put. But yeah,
Yay.
I didn't I don't know why I didn't catch that the part with Mitra earlier. But that's also another thing that he was jealous of Adam.
Yeah, he just exists as a ball of jealousy.
Yeah.
Like he's less fleshed out than Ramses, but he has a very Ramses flavor, which I caught on to, which is why I care about him.
That's so funny. But yeah,
Ramses
he does.
flavor,
He does
Ramses light.
Ramses light. He's Ramses LaCroix.
Diet LaCroix.
I
Yes.
guess in a way we could skip the other ones. Since you kind of covered both, I think. So
Yeah. Okay.
The next one is Amalthus and the world / the architect, but possible hope that turned into hatred kind of thing.
Oh, that's another one of mine. So basically, Amalthus has a lot of feelings about how he feels the world should be, and a lot of that or actually, they don't even show him in a state where he's not turned in game. Like, I thought that they would go over that.
I was gonna say, I didn't think they did.
Yeah. No, that's another thing in the gap!
Yeah.
But it's like being with the Praetorium and being around the one offshoot NPCs that he's surrounded by in the Praetorium, there's definitely a sense that he used to believe and he used to try very hard. And back when he tried, he was friends with Menoth, and back when he tried, he was working with the older Pope. I think his name is Radalis, and I forgot who Blue Sellers was.
Oh!
Blue
Give me. I'm gonna have to. I was like, it's sad because I just saw a thing about him the other day, and I just didn't.
Yeah,
I can't remember it either.
He just looks like Sellers from Xenosaga. I can't.
It really does.
But yeah, it's Amalthus being the cardinal villain in Xenoblade 2. It's like little bits and pieces, it's not the big chunks that I was expecting to get out of Torna, but it's neat that the threads are there. I just wish they were more well defined. Because we don't even get, an attempt, even a prayer to the architect. We have this gigantic, church society dedicated to the architect and the world tree, and we don't even really have a single in-world prayer.
And I still cannot even find the guy's name. He's just Blue Sellers, okay?
Blue Sellers.
Blue Sellers. That's it.
Blue Sellers.
Leave it at that.
Oh my god.
Well, that was a failure.
Okay, I guess we can move on to the next one.
Milton and Mitra.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Although I'm not quite sure how to start with this one fully.
Well, we can start off by saying that Milton's kind of the reason why Pyra exists.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
Well, I mean, we could also go back a little bit before that too, in that, the way that Milton and Mithra bounced off of each other before too. I mean,
yeah, he was like the bratty little brother.
Yep.
And he always got mad.
Proved just how grown up Mithra actually was at times. In the way that she responded to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. it really, showed that she was still, like, pretty much a child herself.
Yeah, but, as you mentioned, like, he's really, like, the reason that pretty much made her snap, because he did not survive this, and, like, that was pretty much, like, after first, like, losing also Ryugo, like, and then seeing him, like, one of the child that was supposed to be safe, die because of her fight with Malos and the air with the mechs, it's just, like, was a big snap for her, and she pretty much developed this other personality that was Pyra, and pretty much went into sleep because of that. I feel like it was too much of a shock.
She shut herself out from basically everyone and kind of just created this persona.
Yeah.
That's in a way kind of like this idealized version of herself, because she hated herself for what she did.
Yeah, basically.
Even though it wasn't on purpose, and she just was like, look, I'm gonna make Pyra, this is who I'm gonna portray myself as for the rest of time. This person that I think that everyone's just going to like, this so-called perfect girl.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hardcore, because, like, the fact that they lose ego, like, it's what makes her snap and go in the back and go berserk, but then after seeing the consequences of that, like, it's pretty just does a big snap, kind of, just so hard on her. So, yeah. Do we add anything more here, or do we move to the last one? Or did you guys have another one, like, to add?
I mean, yeah, I thought it would have been a lot more, but that kind of, like, sums it up, really, I think, for that one.
Yeah. So, do I move to the next one? Yes? No? Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah, this is a big one anyway.
Yeah, so, Malos and Mitra, which are the two ages.
I mean, so is this like some type of twisted kind of love,
what?
or?
I would think sibling rivalry.
Yeah, I guess, because in a way I feel like we don't really see a whole lot in Torna to really make up too much of it, other than the fact that, well, Mitra is pretty much on the side of the flight that tries to stop the darkness in a way, but, like, aside from that, like, I feel we see a bit more of the development more so in the main game, where, like, it kind of gets a bit further, but at the same time, I'm not exactly sure how to really explain their relationship, other than the fact that they always go at each other, and, like, Malo seems to be more the kind that you always want to have some fun and be like, oh, come on, I want to fight my rival. I'm having fun here. Like, she's the only one powerful enough for me to have fun, kind of thing. But
I have an idea of actually this. My thought on this is, like, Malos he has a lot of resolve for what he's doing. Like, he's set on doing this, and Mithra just kind of feels a lot like she does not know what she's fighting for in some ways. Like, she doesn't have it all together. She doesn't, like, acts like she's confident about this, but she really is just covering up for that she doesn't, and she feels like she doesn't really know what to do with herself as compared to Malos, who is just like, he's already made up his mind. Like, whether it's the right choice, he thinks it is, and he's dead set on thinking that it is, and he's not changing. He's got the will to do it, and he's got no doubt that he can do it. And then you have Mithra, as opposed to that, who is, like, always downing herself, and he plays into that. He sees it, so he eats at her and, like, feeds her these lines about how she doesn't even, like, he knows. He can see right through her, and he exposes her for exactly what she is at times. And that's why he makes such an effective villain a lot of times, is because he has the ability to do that, to basically the strongest member of the good guys party. And the other guys are trying to help her out. They're trying to make her see this. They're trying to show her they're trying to like help her realize why she's doing this, what she's here for, and things to that effect, I feel like. And be support for her. And Malos, he's already got, like, all he needs is himself because he's already made up his mind.
Yeah.
He just knows how to break her down because of that.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I would not have been able to explain it at all. Because I kind of see it, but I was like, how to put it into words? Just... But, yeah.
Oh yeah, Malos totally toys with her through a lot of this game. So, that was what I came away thinking about all of that.
Yeah, it feels a lot like it. But at the same time, like, around the end of 2, it feels like he kind of, like, I don't know, I feel like there was something else going on around the end of 2, but I can't put my finger on it. Like...
Well, I think that he kind of starts to see a little bit the error of his ways towards the end of 2 on that.
But it's kind of too late, kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of beyond it at that point. It's just like... It's kind of like when fate happens to go not his way, he's kind of like, well, maybe that is the way it's supposed to be, kind of thing, is the way I kind of felt about that.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't totally just like... He's not like the Shredder, you thought you killed him, but he's gonna live beyond death and just come back and just like, no, I'm still right, kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I think that pretty much covers it.
He's not Dio.
Oh, Dio, no! But,
Xenoblade doesn't have enough JoJo references.
Well...
There's a couple.
Xenoblade 2 had quite a few, in a way. I mean,
like,
you have Gord, you have, like, Zeke and Pandoria, like, pretty much doing a bunch of JoJo poses and being ridiculous.
The best JoJo reference...
I'm saying, though, is there's
there needs more of it. Sure. The best JoJo reference in Xenoblade 2 is putting Newt on Morag. Because if you do, I think Newt's level 3 special where she does, like, the ora, 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 Morag actually kind of like does like that Jotaro Yore does that pose. It's kind of cool.
Oh my god!
Oh, because she's got the hat.
Yes, and she actually does like that back turn.
Notice this? How could I not?
Well, maybe I think it would depend on if you had.
Okay, that's
Morag
it. Morag is Jotaro. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the same kind of like stoic character that cares about the others.
And she calls everyone else a bitch, so... Oh wait, that didn't happen.
No.
What Xenoblade 2 did you play? And where can I get it?
I'm sorry, I mistook it for JoJo so much that I just didn't know.
Oh my god. So yeah, I think that pretty much has our love covering, and I guess we can go into wrapping this up.
Well, actually, I don't know if you guys still want to, but we talked about maybe going around and asking, like, your favorite pairings throughout the series.
Totally forgot about that.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Oh boy.
Well,
that's a tough one. I mean, there's gonna be canon or non-canon.
You don't have to pick an absolute favorite, but you can just, like, say, hey, I like this ship because this. Of course, I think we did that to some extent.
If it's true, the entire Xeno series, Chaos and Junior all the way. Totally not biased for these two. But yeah.
That's a really good one.
I'm gonna make like a really... This is gonna be pretty divisive, but I'm going to say Ziggy and Shulk. Oh wait, never mind.
What?
No,
this entire buffet, and that's what you put on your plate.
Completely disregard that. I just love that part where they meet. No, I'll think on my real one though. You guys go.
I guess like
Cat, you go.
Yeah, go Cat.
Oh no. Okay. I am still very attached to Cherenkov and Margulis, but not in a canon sort of way, in a more like wishful thinking, I wish they could work out kind of way, because they're both pretty.
Of course.
That'd be some sadomasochism going on there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, he does deserve better than his wife. That's for sure.
Yeah, Margulis is maybe one step better than his wife, but still pretty bad. But I like to write fluff fanfiction where they work it out.
I guess I guess I have two. I actually kind of like the rivalry between Margulis and Jin, but but as far as like an actual story being told, I really enjoyed Shulk and Melia because of how like they both went through something very similar and are both kind of learning to deal with their flaws, and that kind of led to a lot of character development on both ends.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I'm biased because I really like Melia, so.
Yeah, Melia is cool.
I really, given I really like Zeke and Pandoria's. You know, I like how much of a dunce Zeke is in ways, and just like how Pandoria deals with that and still definitely has feelings for him despite that, and just like her whole attitude towards it, because she can be both like sarcastic and like make little fun remarks about it, but at the same time she just like deep down she just really likes him and like wants to look out for him too. So
yeah,
that I've always liked that. I also really like the Bard and Margie thing, despite what the implications of things around that are. Don't shoot me.
I'm sorry.
I feel the same way about these two. So yeah,
I'll shut my mouth.
And I mean, Jin and Laura, like I already mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
So, but I also will let you guys go because I'm going to try and think of I know another one. Here's the Xenoblade X one. I really like Gwen and Irina.
I was thinking about that one too, actually.
Yes.
Really cool.
Connected to that, I like Arena and Murderous, kind of.
Oh yeah.
Nice, valid.
For that matter, I also want to bring up Doug and Lau.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, I would totally. I probably said this before. I probably said this on that podcast even, but I would watch a buddy cop movie with Doug and Lau. Like, maybe you could have like pre Family Gone Lau, and you'd have just them like, so how are the wife and kids, Lau? And it'd like hit really deep on one level, and it'd also be because it'd be really sad, like, oh, but it'd also be like you'd be happy because you'd be hearing about the better times, you know.
I love it.
You should write a fanfiction
Green light.
about it.
Back when Lau first joined the force, I remember, you know, when we used to fight like cats and dogs, but I'll tell you later, I don't know where I'm going with this. Stop me, please. I can't write one that fast.
Well, you have a good start.
Well, thanks.
So, I guess that closes it? Or do we have more to add on?
I mean, we could plug again, if you want.
I kind of did plug, like, everything I had for the next few months the way to the last episode.
What if we have newer listeners?
I don't think I get to plug anything. I kept left. Yeah, right. I kept on having to leave, but I am playing an obnoxious amount of Final Fantasy XIV, and if anybody wants to be friends with me on Final Fantasy XIV, DM me on Twitter.
Yes.
You know, I've been really considering trying out that free trial, and I have a lot of people on. Oh, it seems like all of my friend groups that play that game are split into like only 2 data centers, so I'd only have to make 2 characters.
Oh, Jesus.
It's cool.
Where would your most supportive support group be, though?
I don't know at this point. It's getting to be an equal split the more people I talk to.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, I think I would want to say, okay, I think I have a few more on the. I get the data centers and the actual servers mixed up, but is one of them Crystal?
Yeah, Crystal is a data center, and I'm on Crystal.
I know a bunch of people on Crystal, and I know a bunch of people on Hyperion. So, actually, I think I know more people on Crystal, though. So, probably that one.
I think Hyperion is a server. I don't know off the top of my head which data center it's on.
Oh, yeah.
But if Hyperion is on Crystal, Crystal is a good place for you.
I think they're separate, is what I think I was told. But, hey, Xeno stuff.
Okay, alright, so I will plug Final Fantasy XIV for you here. The new expansion is high quality. Like, Xeno high quality. So if you like dark stories, horror,
handsome older men,
and very well done villains. Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. Okay hand.
I've seen some pretty great parts of that via our friend of the show and all of us, David. Anyway, it's some good stuff.
Yay, David.
Got to get him back on here.
This episode brought to you by Square Enix. No.
Shout out to David. Come back on the show, please.
Yes, he needs to come back. Okay, so yeah, I guess we are kind of closing up a little bit. Anybody else? This is such a weird ending. I'm sorry. Does anybody else have anything they want to plug or? What they've been doing.
I've been working on my workshop. In fact, I was painting just today, and I'm going back to painting after this. But we're solely working on that cosplay workshop for Epic Xeno cosplay making.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Not a lot for me, kind of taking a break to just play some games, and I find that I went back to Xenoblade Chronicles X again, so I did go to a con yesterday, but, I don't have much to say about that anymore, and I don't have much else to plug, other than I am probably in the next few weeks going to really start working on getting ready for my next stream, which I will be playing Xenosaga 2 for the sort of the first time. As I got a little taste of it. I got a little taste of a part of it.
Yeah, thing is, when you were at my place, you started it a bit, so...
Yeah, I started it, and you know what? I actually enjoyed it pretty well so far. And I mean the gameplay. And the story was, really, really good.
Yeah, the story of 2 is really good. I love it. Especially, if you're kind of close to... If you like the URTVs and their stories as well as, some other specific things in Xenosaga, Xenoblade 2 really hits. It's just oh my god, this is amazing. But yeah, I guess we're gonna leave the place to Justin. Do you have something to play?
Yeah, alright, so last weekend I was at a convention. It's literally called a video game con, and I was up in Parsippany, New Jersey. And I was a co-host for my friend's event called Tournament of Voices, which is essentially a voice acting game show. And I was a co-host for that. We recorded it. That should be up on YouTube very soon via my friend's channel known as Retro Roulette. So be on the lookout for that. That was a really, really great time. And a lot of people participating. It was just a lot of fun. And other than that, I had a panel today. I did my short and sweet RPG Support Your Time, and that was really good. And other than that, I've been streaming lately. I've been playing just various games. I'm still trucking through Dragon Quest IV, and I will get back to streaming that very soon. I just had to stream a couple days ago for River City Girls, which is a really fun one.
Yeah, it looked really cool.
And I can't wait to be playing that more.
That game was hilarious.
Yeah, and it's even better in co-op. Last night, I was at my friend's house, and we were playing it together, and it's just so much better in co-op. It was fun in single player, but co-op is just like another story.
Like, I didn't expect like that level of animation and just like really good written dialogue that was legitimately funny. It was a good stream.
It's really, really good. And the animation is even better, like, in person, like, when you actually see it. Because I'm sure, like, the stream, the capture is probably, like, a little bit off, but, like, it's nuts. Like, you watch them run, and it was just like, wow, this is smooth.
I mean, it looked pretty smooth from there.
Well, that's good to hear. But, yeah, that's pretty much everything that's going on with me right now.
Alright.
Okay. Well, there's not really much going on with me. I ordered a Xenosaga cosplay and it came in, and I love it. So that's the big thing with me right now. Like, if I could like stream and stuff, I would like wear because I got an Alan cosplay. I would stream myself building like my figurines as Alan. That'd be pretty funny. But
you know what? Whenever you receive Cosmos, you should do an unboxing video as Alan.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. That's a great idea. I need to do that.
Yes! It would be iconic.
Multi-person streamed that build day for different figures. I still have Siren here, not put together, and I need to get paint for it. But, yeah.
Yeah, I still have my Telos in her box, and I'm very intimidated to put her together and paint her.
You can't do it.
But, oh, well, yeah, someday.
Someday.
We'll both put our figures together someday.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. In that case, coming up, let's see, because we have these. This is the last episode of Love. So hopefully by this time that this episode's up, we'll have part 3 and then also the Shulk episode. I'm gonna try to hopefully get that done soon. Yeah, I think I don't think we have anything else planned as of yet, but be sure to check out our Twitter for the latest information about future events or podcast episodes or polls. That's been Love Part 4. Thanks everybody for being here tonight. I really appreciate it, especially for us to keep the schedule going of having us all on this same series for the past 4 episodes. It's really awesome that we've been able to do this.
We hope you love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thanks anybody for listening. So this has been XenoChat, and have a good night.
Bye.
Alright, take care, everyone.
Bye. Good night.
Save the game?
Sentimentally, the time passes by, and all we shared was a moment, I know. But that moment will shine us through to the sky. So